Hey love, hey love, hey love. Wondrous and winning Wednesday to you. Look at here. Don't mind me sitting. I've almost fallen twice today. My hip has been on fire the last couple of days. I've been crying. I couldn't hide it. I'm barely hiding it right now. But I wanted to give you part 8 of the Grief Recovery Group book. So I'm going to give you as much as I can, all right? It's called Identifying Short-Term Energy Relievers. The death of a loved one, divorce, and all other losses produce an incredible amount of emotional energy. Since we've all been socialized from early on to deal with sad, painful, and negative emotions incorrectly, we end up storing the energy inside ourselves. The most cliched of stories, you have a child that comes home from preschool talking about how he or she was mistreated on the playground, and the caregivers not only ask the child what happened. Once the child tearfully explains what happened, they're like, "Don't cry, here, have a cookie. You'll feel better." This sets a child up to a lifetime belief from an important authority source that feelings can be fixed with food. Eating the cookie, the child feels different, not better. They're distracted and forget about the incident on the playground. However, there can be no completion of the emotional pain caused by the event because the feelings are still attached to it, and they're now buried under a cookie or a piece of pie or a piece of cake. It's a distraction. If the child brings that up sometime later, they're probably told, "We don't cry over spoiled milk or spilled milk." As if to say that it's not okay to continue having feelings about the incident, so it must stay buried. Early on, we learn to cover up, hide, or bury our feelings under food, so it's not surprising that later on we adapt by covering up our feelings under alcohol or other drugs or other actions that are not productive. We may have learned to do so by observing family members at funerals or wakes, consuming large amounts of food and alcohol. Consuming food or alcohol in response to the emotional energy does not help us. We don't discover the source of the energy or complete the relationship affected by the loss. We're participating in an illusion that the short-term relief offered by food, alcohol, or something else gives us long-term relief from the pain caused by the loss. Food and alcohol are obvious and typical short-term energy relieving behaviors. There are many short-term behaviors that have the same life-limiting and damaging consequences. Here's a partial list that can have a negative impact on grieving people, such as food, alcohol, drugs, anger, exercise, fantasy, movies, TVs, or books, isolation, sex, shopping, what a lot of people call retail therapy, or workaholism, diving yourself into work. Most of these actions are not harmful in and of themselves. They become harmful when we engage in them for the wrong reasons. Just eating a cookie doesn't help the emotional pain of loss. Shopping provides no long-term help for the pain caused by death or divorce or some other loss. The shopping binge is often followed by remorse over the wasted money, further distractions from the real and original emotional event, like death, divorce, and other loss. It only adds to it. Many short-term energy relievers are apparent, some are not. Visiting a grave site on an extremely regular basis for years following a death. Unconsciously, these grievers are seeking some relief from the pain caused by the incomplete relationship. The problem is that visiting the grave doesn't lead to permanent relief or completion with the person who died. It's like imagining a steam kettle full of water is boiling because there's heat added to it. And then usually steam kettles, they whistle when the water is hot. Now, if you put a cork in it, that cork is basically us putting the pressure, an energy reliever, into it to stop what would naturally occur. The court represents a lifetime of misinformation that causes us to believe that we are not supposed to talk about sad, painful, or negative emotions. Imagine the pressure that's building up by that court. A healthy steam kettle releases energy immediately when you're told don't feel bad. The myth that time will heal is laughable in terms of a steam kettle analogy. Time only moves the steam kettle closer to an explosion. As the pressure builds up inside of our personal steam kettle, we automatically seek relief. This is when we start participating in the short-term energy relieving behaviors. STIRBs. STIRBs. The problem is they appear to work. They create an illusion of recovery by causing us to forget or bury our emotions. The second problem with STIRBs is that they're short-term. They do not last. They do not deal with the true emotional issue. They do nothing to remove the cork that's jammed in the spout. Most people don't even realize that there is a cork in the spout. And eventually our kettle is overloaded with the STIRBs and no longer create the illusion of the well-being. Imagine what might happen if a major loss, event, a death, divorce were added to the collection of unresolved emotions. It might put a strain on our corked kettle as to cause an explosion. Have you ever had an emotional explosion larger than circumstances called for? Sadly, most of us can say yes to that. Over time, we developed a habit of putting a cork in our own personal steam kettles. We bottle up our feelings because we have been taught to do so. The actions of grief recovery will help us remove the cork. To remove the cork, we have to look at the ideas that created it and replace them with the more accurate ideas about dealing with sad, painful, and negative feelings. A simple analogy: if your yard is full of weeds, you can cut the weeds down, but they'll grow back. However, if you pull them out, you eliminate the problem. Our homework assignment is to identify the short-term energy relieving actions that we've been used to or may be using to escape the pain caused by our losses. Try to identify at least 2 examples of short-term relief you have used to displace your feelings. The guideline: food, alcohol, drugs, anger, exercise, fantasy from movies, TVs, or books, isolation, sex, shopping, humorously called retail therapy, workaholism. 2 that I noticed because I did it with my goddaughter: I traveled. I got away to escape everything that was nearby. Then I noticed that I tried to sleep it away. Write down your short-term energy relievers that you've participated in. It's actually very common in our society to have been socialized with the idea that we should cover up emotional pain rather than confront it directly. Reaffirm your commitments to total honesty, absolute confidentiality, and the uniqueness of your individual recovery. Short-term energy relieving behaviors, STIRBs, can be a fun category to talk about. It can also be painful and awkward, whether with a partner or with yourself. Be careful not to judge or criticize. Maintain truth and safety. Read your list. It's important to remember why we participate in them, because we were taught to do so. One of the purposes of this exercise is to help you to become aware of things that you may have been doing unconsciously. The possibility of changing some of the habits that hurt you lies in becoming aware that they exist. Examine both the general and the specific ways in which you've used those STIRBs in your life to cope with loss. Is it possible that one of my major short-term energy relievers is isolation? Most people have difficulty finding a partner or are merely afraid that a potential partner would refuse them, but we can't tell you what would happen. Just reconsider your choice of working alone or with a group. The next chapter, we're going to be doing a graph of our losses. It's pretty extensive, so I don't know if I'll get through the whole chapter 9 in one take in 10 minutes. So thank you for gifting me with some of your time. As always, I do appreciate you. Make it a lovely day, not just for you. Help someone else have a lovely day too. Be love.